Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A big announcement out of Uvalde. We have the latest.
2 suspects tried to get away after police say they shot a teen on the west side early this morning. Where they were caught and the condition of the victim is coming up.
And let's take a look at those conditions outside. 80 degrees at 8 o'clock this morning. How warm will it get to this Independence Day weekend? We're going to check in with Mike Osterhage in just a few moments. Until then, good morning. 8 o'clock this Sunday. It is July 3rd. It is 4th of July weekend. A lot going on.
Excuse me.
You doing all right?
I'm fine.
Okay. Did you make it out and about yesterday?
No.
Just stayed in the AC.
Literally left work. I did water my plants, but then I went inside and didn't leave. I watched the new Stranger Things.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, speaking of watering plants, Mike.
Yeah.
Are we going to see any rain anytime soon?
Well, now some folks out to the west are getting rain, and in fact, too much rain in some spots. Picked up about anywhere from 3 to 5 inches in portions of Uvalde County overnight. We do have a few more thunderstorms out there as well. And take a look at the live cam right now. We do have some clouds still left over here. Nice looking sunrise this morning here in town. But then you go off to the southwest. Now, 2 areas of rain. This first batch, that was the one that moved through in the overnight hours, one of those overnight storm complexes, and that's the one that dumped a ton of rain in portions of Uvalde County. Now this next cell, and this one, which this first portion of it had more of the lightning strikes moving up through Carrizo Springs, some of the heavier storms. Those are dying down. Then there's this next batch just a little further to the west. So this is going to go through Webb County, all sliding up to the north, almost to the northeast. Now, a lot of times these nighttime storm complexes, which was that one up to the north, do die down once the sun comes up, which obviously was the case with that. There obviously are some indications that this is starting to weaken a little bit, although again, some of the energy was kind of thrown off there to the west. So we'll continue to watch those storms. No hail haven't seen any with these so far up to this point this morning. Just some decent rain as well as a lot of lightning strikes. Now we're at 80 right now, mid and upper 70s around the area. And we still have obviously a ton of humidity out there and a ton of mold. It really, really shot up. Of course, the updated count's going to be coming out within the next hour or so. Hopefully that does drop down. That's been the problem, especially yesterday and Friday. The humidity that we've had left over from the rain that we got earlier on in the week, obviously that moisture still coming out of the ground. So that was just adding to that really intense heat because we've got those heat index readings that are getting well up into the low hundreds now. So add about 3 to 5 degrees to that number, and that's what it's going to be feeling like later on today. As the ground dries out, good news, bad news. Bad news, obviously, it's not good that the ground dries out, but we're not going to have as high a humidity to deal with in the afternoons, but we're still going to have those temperatures in the triple digits. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Max?
Thank you, Mike. We begin with some late breaking news. Crews have been on the scene of this fire on the southwest side of town since about 5 a.m. this morning. This is all happening near South General McMullen, not too far from Highway 90.
Jonathan Gotho is staying on top of this developing story. Now, Jonathan, we understand that firefighters knocked down the flames, but they are having to keep an eye out for some hot spots.
That's right, Sarah. Actually, the scene just now clearing. The last unit here leaving the scene just moments ago. We're not too far from the Techport Center and Arena, but it's been an intense and busy morning for San Antonio firefighters, as we know, battling flames at different scenes throughout the city. This one in particular was an intense situation from the moment we arrived, completely engulfed in flames. And as soon as we got here, and just as a testament of how hot and how intense the situation is, a photojournalist, Steven Chavez, can take a look at this light that's here, completely melted. And it's nowhere near too directly to the building here, but you can just see how intense the heat and the flames were that it caused for this light structure here to be completely melted. But the good news here, Max and Sarah, is that fire crews tell us there wasn't any really significant challenges that they were met with. As you can see here, this old apartment building, this apartment structure, completely collapsed. It was a 2-story building. They said that while they were quickly on the defensive, the roof completely collapsing on them. They were approaching the fire with aerial ladders, and we know that they were here shortly after 5 o'clock this morning. But again, the good news here is nobody was hurt. No significant challenges for crews, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting live, Jonathan Gotho, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Also new this morning, 2 suspects in police custody after a shooting on the west side and an end with a teenager in the hospital. Authorities say a 17-year-old was just sitting in his vehicle on Castroville Road near 36th Street when around 2:30 this morning, 2 people pulled up and started shooting at him. Police say that teen was shot 3 times, taken to the hospital. At last check, in stable condition. Officers say the suspects were actually caught several blocks away and that a gun was found inside their vehicle.
Our top story this morning, Uvalde City Councilman Pete Arredondo announced that he is stepping down from his seat. Remember, he is also the police chief for the Uvalde School District. All right, so the announcement comes 2 days after missing another scheduled city council meeting where family members of those who were killed and injured in that Robb Elementary massacre were expected to question him about his response on that day. In addition, missing any more city council meetings could have led to him being voted out. Camelia Juarez spoke with members of the Uvalde community and has their reactions.
This will allow people to begin to heal.
Making headlines throughout the nation today, District 3 Councilman Pete Arredondo announcing his plan to step down from his seat. In a letter given to the Uvalde mayor and city secretary, Arredondo wrote the move is to, quote, minimize further distractions, end quote. A Uvalde community member who wanted to remain anonymous says Arredondo staying in that position was dividing the community.
He's basically the sacrificial lamb, I think, in this situation, and I think it's probably best that he hasn't come forward to those meetings because they have been very volatile.
Arredondo has been a key topic in the case of the Uvalde school massacre that happened back on May 24th. Since then, law enforcement has come under fire for not taking quick enough action during the shooting. Arredondo under the microscope as the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District police chief. It was under Arredondo's command that police waited more than an hour to enter the school where 19 students and 2 teachers were shot and killed by an 18-year-old gunman.
It was a wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
Kim Hamond, an outspoken member of the Uvalde community, says this resignation was the right move.
He's still not admitting that he was the incident commander. I mean, come on. You're the third on scene? It's your jurisdiction. This is our district, and it was just the right thing to do at this time for these families, for this community. Let us heal. His family needs to heal.
The woman in maroon agrees, saying Arredondo is a community member first, and stepping down best serves the city.
I think that shows his heart for the community. Whatever did or didn't happen that day, that his heart for this community is that he, wants to do right by his neighbors and friends.
And city officials also agree this is a step in the right direction. At this time, it's unclear who will fill that District 3 vacancy, but the city charter outlines a plan going forward. Arredondo remains the Uvalde CISD police chief on administrative leave. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, there's a lot going on in and around our community, from the human smuggling discoveries to a recent rise in violent crime.
So joining us in today's Leading SA segment is Sheriff Javier Salazar. Good morning, Sheriff. Thank you for always making time for us.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on this morning.
So, Sheriff, in the last week, we had that horrific human smuggling operation ended with more than 50 people dead. And then on Friday, another human smuggling operation in Dilley. What does your office see on a daily basis, and what can be done?
Well, we're seeing it every day. We're dealing with it every day. You guys have covered some of the operations we've had where we've rescued dozens of people at a time. In some of those operations, we saw young ladies being separated from the rest of the group and taken off separately from everybody else. We all know how that one was going to end up. And while we should be doing a touchdown dance every time we rescue a big group like this, we know that we're only catching a small percentage of what is being smuggled through human-wise. And these cartels are just making money hand over fist. What we're doing now is only endangering lives and enriching these cartels. We need to find a better way of doing it.
So, Sheriff, what can be done?
Well, that's what I'm asking the federal government to do. I mean, me as the local sheriff, as much as I'd love to help, we just need more resources. I don't agree with the approach that the state is currently taking So I don't think that that's the proper place for me to be asking for resources from. I'm asking from the federal government, and we will see what happens with that.
And Sheriff, switching gears here, we have seen crime go up here in San Antonio. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus joined us last weekend and said one of the biggest problems they are seeing is repeat offenders. So are you seeing a rise in violent gun crime? And if so, what do you think is causing it?
Well, I think the number one thing is just easy access to way too many weapons. These crooks know that if they break into a car in a parking lot, it stands a very good chance of having a gun under the seat. We're just seeing way too many guns out there. Legal guns are not the issue. It's careless guns, careless gun owners, I should say, leaving their guns unattended and easily getting them stolen. So if you're a crook, why bother to go buy one somewhere? All you got to do is break into enough cars and you're going to find one under a seat.
So what is your message to legal gun owners out there in a situation like this?
I tell them that the legal gun ownership is a 24-hour endeavor. You can't just say, well, I'm going to bed, let the gun be on its own. That gun is going to get stolen. Likewise, if you're going out to dinner or whatever, you may be like one of these folks that at first there's a certain novelty attached to being able to carry a gun. But then, like many first responders, you realize, man, this thing's a pain to carry around. I'll just throw it in the glove box, and if I need it, I'll go get it. Well, that glove box is going to get broken into by somebody while you're having dinner with your family. So leave it at home under lock and key. If you're not going to carry it with you, then leave it at home. It's a 24-hour endeavor, not a 16-hour endeavor, and then forget about it while you sleep.
Well, we've been reporting on a detective with your office being arrested on suspicion of DWI. So what is your message to your deputies and your office when this happens?
My message is that DWI or committing crimes like that is a career killer. There is no excuse to drink and drive. This young man knew better. He absolutely knew better and still did it. So as I said the other day, he gambled with his career. And he's well on his way of losing that bet, unfortunately for him. We all know how this is going to end up. We all know my policy on it. At this point, it's just a matter of handling paperwork.
So one last question. We only have about 30 seconds. You guys got your rescue boat. Why is that so important for you guys? Why isn't it so important for this weekend particularly?
Well, we've got to be out there. We've got to be able to access every square inch of our county on land and on the water. And let's face it, there are some safety concerns with area lakes and rivers. We've seen that time and time again. People are out boating and having a good time, but we want to make sure that they're doing so safely. Now we have that tool available to us. In spite of some resistance that we got in the past, we've got it now. We're ready to protect and serve.
Sheriff, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. And for our viewers, if you want to watch this interview in full, you'll be able to see it later this morning on KSAT.com. Thank you, Sheriff.
Be safe, guys.
Time now, 8:13, 80 degrees out.
Well, still ahead, Tesla's second quarter sales report has people doing a double take. The company is reporting a rare drop in sales. What the company says is the reason.
And Samsung says it's looking to become the world's top chip maker. The new technology it's now trying to do to make it all happen.
Taking a look outside, already 80 degrees at 8:13 this morning. Man, it is a muggy, humid one out there. Mike has our 4th of July weekend forecast when we come back.
Good morning and welcome back. 8:17, 80 degrees out. It's like a humid 80 degrees out, though.
It's pretty awful.
So, your hair looks great, though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of work goes into it. Hair will not look great, though, Mike Osterhage, if you walk outside. It's a ponytail, hat, hairspray day.
You can tell they're a TV couple when he knows to compliment the hair like that. Good job, Max. You pay attention. So, all right, the humidity, that's the thing that has been adding to just that intense heat in the afternoon. It will start to drop down as we go on into the rest of the week. It won't be quite as humid in the afternoons. It's still going to be every bit as hot. So this was yesterday, and from Mr. McClellan, usually has those great pictures from Woodlawn Lake, and this was up around the Dominion looking down to the south. I was looking at that same batch of clouds and thunderstorms and watching the KSAT app, weather app with the radar on there, and keeping my fingers crossed, never came into my backyard, unfortunately. We do have some sunshine looking off to the east from here in town. However, off to the west, we're still watching some of these bigger thunderstorms around here. We had some earlier this morning in northern Uvalde County and dumped a whole bunch of rain. I'm going to show you some rainfall estimates in just a couple of minutes. But now we've got this next batch of showers and some thunderstorms that have continued to kind of grow a little bit. This batch sort of died down ever so slightly, and now this little spot right here in southern Webb County is starting to kind of take all the energy and still working its way up to the north. And these are dumping rain about 2 inches per hour, and doesn't mean you're going to get that much, but we've already seen, like I said, some fairly decent rainfall amounts. So these are going to continue to linger in here for at least about the next hour, maybe a couple of hours. Here's some of the totals, estimated totals out of radar. And as you can see over here, first of all, down to the south, right around, say, just to the west of Karnes City, just over 2 inches of rain, 1.5 inches in northern Atascosa County. And it was just so close for us up here in San Antonio, but didn't get any of that. And then overnight was where the heavy rain fell. Up in northeastern Uvalde County, 5 inches of rain. Right around Uvalde, almost more than 3 inches of rain. And then in northern Kinney County, just about 3 inches of rain. And further on down to the south. And this all fell pretty much in the past couple of hours. We've seen 2, 3, even 5-inch rain amounts there. These are, again, estimates out of radar. So you want to watch it around some of the low water crossings, obviously. And that's going to continue to be an issue, like I said, for at least about the next hour or so. So rain off to the west and southwest this morning. A couple of those leftover showers. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine. And we're going to be warming up very quickly. 90 at noon, up into the low to mid 90s already by early afternoon. And yep, we're going to hit it again. 100. We've hit it, well, every day so far this month. I know this is only the 3rd, but we're continuing where we left off in the month of June as far as the very, very hot temperatures. And then add to that some of the humidity out there. So heat index readings are going to be about 103 here in town, 108 Cotulla, 105 around Victoria. And it's when you get to about 105, be it the heat index or just the actual air temperature, your body really has a tough time cooling itself. So in other words, just take it easy. Lots of water. Like all the experts say, don't wait till you're thirsty. Hydrate and hydrate. Lots of sunscreen and lots of shade. Here's the computer model through the rest of the morning. This still keeps a couple of stray showers around off to the west primarily, some leftovers there, and then down over there along the Rio Grande. And then if there's a stray shower this afternoon, great. I don't think the odds are really all that good. I didn't even put it into the forecast. I think the odds of anything popping up later on this afternoon are so small. But like I said, if you do get one of those showers, consider yourself very fortunate because everybody else is just going to be sweating. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature today makes it up to 100. Again, mostly sunny skies. And then the rest of the first week, July 4th. You know what? It's always hot. And I know we've been hot in June and all that stuff, but still, it's July 4th. Right. Enjoy and just celebrate the wonderful country that we have. And then, do it inside.
Inside or at a pool or at a lake,
I don't think anybody's going to be volunteering to stand over the grill, though, on a day like this. Because that's hot. This is hot.
Yeah, but you always want to be the guy at the grill. Just throwing it out there.
No, I like to be the consumer. Never like to be the woman on the grill.
Time now. It's just about 8:22, 80 degrees out.
Well, Samsung says its new chip-making technology will make electronics perform better. The details straight ahead.
All right, and for the first time since 2020, sales down for Tesla. We're going to explain why and what could come next in just a bit. Good morning and welcome back. In business headlines, Tesla reporting a rare drop in production and sales in the second quarter of this year. CNN Business stating that Tesla reported sales dropped nearly 18% compared to the first 3 months of the year, while production dropping 15%. Here's the reason. COVID lockdowns in China actually closed the Tesla plant. That's what's being blamed for the decline of problems getting parts from Tesla suppliers. Also limited Tesla's production even after the plant reopened from those COVID lockdowns. In a statement released by Tesla, well, despite the issues the company has been dealing with, June 2022 saw the highest vehicle production month in Tesla history.
Well, Samsung Electronics says it's the first in the world to begin mass production of chips manufactured with the new advanced 3-nanometer technology. So the South Korean company says the technology offers a new way of processing chips that reduce power consumption by up to 45% and improves performance by 23% compared to the conventional process being used. So last year, Samsung announced a $132 billion investment plan to replace the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company as the world's top logic chip maker by 2030.
Time now, 8:27, 80 degrees out.
Well, 2 people are dead and 3 police officers are recovering following a shooting near Fort Worth. We have those details coming up in our next half hour.
Good morning, I'm Max Massey.
And I'm Sarah Costa. It's Sunday, July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. We know a lot of people are taking the 4-day, maybe 5-day weekend to enjoy the holiday. Lucky.
We got boating, we have barbecues, we have pools. So, Mike, what's the forecast?
Mike, do you have a pool in your backyard?
No.
Oh.
No.
Were you looking to go to Mike's pool?
I'm just looking.
That was like the most disappointed I've ever seen her.
I'm looking for a pool.
I'll let you run around the sprinkler or something like that. I'll just stand there and hold it, you know.
What are those things that you had when you're little slip and slide?
Yeah, slip and slide.
They ruin your
great,
They ruin your grass, though.
No, they're great though. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. No, yes, pool's a good idea. If you are outside though, plenty of sunscreen and just really stay hydrated because this heat can just get to you after a while. And again, got to emphasize that all the numbers, highs and everything like that we talk about, temperatures, that's the air temperature we're feeling. So that's in the shade. If you're in the direct sun, not only are you feeling the air temperature, but then the sun's as well. So it feels even hotter, obviously, if you're standing out there in the sun, and it can really take effect very easily. So we've got a few clouds still hanging around here this morning, and we do have some showers off to the west. Now, there was one batch of rain overnight around that moved up through Uvalde County, up in toward Edwards County. This next batch is moving up, and this is not necessarily a good thing, and I hate to say that about rain, but some of the radar estimates were anywhere from 2, 3, almost 5 inches of rain in northeastern Uvalde County, and so any more rain on top of that, like I said, may cause a little bit of flooding, but of course, over the past couple of months, anything is welcome is concerned. And then we do have these storms down here in the southern portion of Webb County, although it does look like they're starting to maybe ease up a little bit. These will still be hanging around at least for the next hour or so. 80 here in town, Helotes, same thing, Canyon Lake, and then 81, the warm spot. Now, excuse me, Castroville, 82, the warm spot as of right now. Humidity is very, very high. I mean, dew points right now are 76. We don't see that often. Seguin, Randolph, as well as Stinson. That's, again, steam bath kind of humidity when you step outside. So it feels like 87 right now at Stinson, and it feels like 89 degrees right now in Pleasant. Mold is on the high side thanks to all this moisture around here, and throughout the rest of, well, this morning, warm and humid. We have some of that leftover rain off to the west, and then afternoon sunshine and, yep, searing heat again. And we're going to have enough humidity to add to that searing heat. Then as we go into the 4th tomorrow, yep, it is going to be hotter than a firecracker. And the rest of the week, 100s all week long. And no relief in sight as far as temperatures or even rain. Details in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Max.
Thank you, Mike. New this morning, a 51-year-old man now in custody facing charges of arson after police say he started a fire at a church downtown. This is what we know right now. It happened on Arbor Place near North Frio Street. According to the police affidavit, Daniel Jarlson piled some cardboard boxes in front of the Doors of Life Restored Church on Friday, then set those boxes on fire. A worker at the church was able to call 911 for help, but not before the flames damaged the stairs, the front door, and a wall. The arrest affidavit reads that surveillance video was actually used to identify Jarlson as the one who started the fire. Church officials say the suspect is known by church staff and was actually asked not to come back after some what they describe unruly behavior just last week. His bond now set at $50,000. Well, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says more victims from that horrific, deadly human smuggling operation discovered here almost a week ago. Those victims being identified.
This means the victims are a step closer to being returned to their home countries where they can be laid to rest. 19 of the total 53 have positively been identified. The victims range in age from as young as 13 to 38 years old.
So far, what we know, 8 were Mexican citizens, 6 from Guatemala, 5 from Honduras. 30 people still have potential identifications, but the medical examiner working with their respective consulates, trying to confirm those potential identities. 4 victims still unidentified.
And a silent caravan procession took place yesterday in honor of the 53 lives lost as a tragic result of human smuggling operation that happened almost 1 week ago. The migrants died last Monday, their bodies found inside a tractor trailer on the west side. Those in attendance were asked to bring flags representing the countries the victims were from. And the procession is just one of many tributes the San Antonio community has offered to show respect for the victims.
In fact, the stretch of road where many of the victims were found dead on Monday, it's actually turned into a memorial site, 53 crosses along the road, as well as a mural. Now, Lee Waldman has more on this emotional display that depicts a journey of hope cut short by tragedy.
Each flick of his paintbrush illustrating pain.
Wish I would have painted something different, but this is real. This is happening.
Making the feeling into something tangible.
This is what we face. This is the problem we have, and we need to portray that.
Roberto Marquez is an artist who came from Mexico to lend his creativity to honor the victims. He says he knows the plight of migrants, desperate for the American dream. He's walked alongside them for years, calling them his brothers and sisters.
We need to tackle this problem. We don't want it to go to the extreme, where so many people, losing their lives.
Today, dozens of cars were stopped along the street. People coming to say prayers, lay flowers, honor the people behind the crosses. David Guzman and his wife are still taking in the tragedy.
I feel very bad for all the immigrants that passed, and I feel for those that survived. They are hurting right now, so it's just it's a terrible thing.
Water bottles are collecting here. Sandra Grace Martinez has handed out over 2,000 in just 3 days' time in honor of the people trapped inside the trailer who had none.
All the waters are gone. We have people coming from Oregon, Colorado, California.
She's watched as the memorial has grown by the minute. People not wanting to let the innocent lives go unnoticed.
Beginning of a grief process that they can come, and as tradition here with Latin Americans and Mexicanos is to bring ofrendas, and they certainly have.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Well, the TSA saying almost 2.5 million people have passed through airport security on Friday. That's 300,000 more than on the same date in 2019 before COVID.
So combine that with thousands of flight delays and hundreds of cancellations. Clearly, you're going to have a lot of aggravated travelers. ABC's Mola Langhi has more from LaGuardia.
This morning, a record number of Americans braving the holiday crowds and flying this weekend. This amid flight delays, cancellations, and staffing shortages at airports.
We were supposed to be on our way to Mazatlan, Mexico for our graduation trip, but it got canceled.
Airlines canceling nearly 700 U.S. flights and delaying more than 5,600 nationwide on Saturday. More travel troubles. Thousands of American Airlines pilots may be dropping as many as 12,000 scheduled flights through the end of July due to an overnight computer glitch. But American Airlines saying the vast majority of the trips have been restored, and this will not impact their holiday operations. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg saying Friday he's taking steps to make travel smoother.
There are some things you can't control, like weather, but there are a lot of things that the airlines can and should control to make sure that they can service the tickets that they're selling. I think these next couple of days are really going to put those measures to the test.
And TSA working to do their part during the weekend rush.
We always wish we had more staff, but we have enough staffing for this weekend. We also have about 1,000 officers in TSA that have volunteered to go on a temporary basis to help other airports.
Found out that my flight is delayed again from 11 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. to now 4:52 p.m.
Jordan Ross Myers has been traveling for 11 hours
until they eventually pulled the plane.
The AAA predicts a record 42 million people will hit the road over the 4th of July weekend, with the most trafficked corridors expected to be in Atlanta, Boston, and Chicago. Some holiday travelers opting to hit the roads and avoid airports altogether.
Yeah, we're going out today.
Drivers facing their own set of challenges. In California, a new 3-cent increase to the gas tax.
Fortunately, AAA predicts the roads won't be as congested. I got 3, 2, 1. Fortunately, AAA predicts the roads will not be as congested Sunday or Monday. Still, if you are traveling, as always, you want to give yourself plenty of time. Mola Langhi, ABC News, LaGuardia Airport, New York.
Well, in your morning headlines, a shooting in Fort Worth suburb leaves 2 people dead and 4 others shot, including 3 police officers. Now, according to police, the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and a woman was found dead inside a house. An elderly woman initially called police after she reportedly was shot in the leg. When police arrived at the home, there was an exchange of gunfire between officers and the suspected gunman. 3 officers were shot, but all of their injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. After searching the area, police found the suspect dead with a military-style rifle and a handgun nearby. A motive for the shooting has not been released. The Texas Rangers are investigating.
Police in New York City making an arrest in connection to that deadly shooting of a woman who was just pushing her young child in a stroller. Isaac Argro, handcuffed, walked from the police station to a walking car just yesterday. Now, police say the suspect shot Asia Johnson in the head on Wednesday night while she was pushing her 3-month-old child in a stroller on the Upper East Side. Now, the child was luckily unharmed. It is being reported that Argro was the victim's ex-boyfriend.
Well, a new migrant caravan of around 2,000 people left the southern city of Talachula, Mexico, heading to the border. The group left the city on Friday. This marks the 11th caravan to head to the southern U.S. border this year. The group of migrants is from Venezuela and Central America. Mexican authorities have not made comments on this caravan so far.
Time now, just about 8:42, 81 degrees out.
All right, let's take a look outside with live cam. 81 degrees at 8.
It's humid 81. What did Mike say? It feels like a steam bath out there?
Yeah, pretty much. He'll have that steam bath forecast when we come back.
KSAT 12 celebrates Military City, USA, powered by USAA.
San Antonio has been called Military City, USA for its different career training at Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland. And here at the Career Enlisted Aviator Center of Excellence is where the United States Air Force flight attendants learn the fundamentals of serving the President on Air Force One.
We are training future flight attendants who will be going off to fly with our nation's top leaders, to include the Vice President, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, flying anywhere and everywhere. Obviously, our main job is safety on the aircraft.
The aircrew are required to learn all aircraft emergency procedures plus proper etiquette while flying around the world with our top leaders.
It is imperative that we are teaching them to pay attention to details. Something so small could set a mission back. We don't want our users to be late to meetings, so we harp on manners, etiquette, and protocol, teaching them to be professional since they will be in front of some of our nation's most important leaders.
Today, Liz Cheney, exclusive, her first interview since the January 6th hearings. What does she think will happen next? What if Trump runs again? Will she run for president? Plus, the Supreme Court's controversial new rulings and the cases coming soon. Today on ABC's This Week.
All right, it is 4th of July weekend. There are plenty of places to go in and around town if you're looking to celebrate the 4th of July. So today, City of Helotes holding its Independence Day celebration at the Helotes Festival grounds on Leslie Road, starting at 4 o'clock. General admission and parking is free, and their fireworks start at 9:15 tonight. Tomorrow, multiple 4th of July celebrations kicking off, including the return of the HEB 4th of July celebration at Woodlawn. Both SeaWorld and Fiesta Texas lighting up the sky with their fireworks displays tonight and Monday. For a complete rundown of all the events and times, make sure to head to KSAT.com. So Sarah, Mike, you guys have any good plans?
I'll be working here.
Me too.
With Mike.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, you know, they've got to get up early on Tuesday morning, so, but every once in a while I kind of stay up past my bedtime to watch fire. Favorite part about 4th of July? We had this question on SA Live the other day, so what is it?
Food.
Food?
It's the food.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Yeah.
The food.
When they do the fireworks display from Washington, D.C., and the military band starts playing, you know, the national anthem and Stars and Stripes Forever and all that, that always kind of...
Oh, okay. Puts a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah. It's wonderful. So, all right. Boy, there's a pretty picture. Nice little crescent moon, 4 inches of rain. And good night, moon. Remember that story? My kids used to love that story, reading that to them. Hey, the latest mold's on the high side. The latest pollen count has come out. Mold is still high, but it is way down, about a fourth or a fifth of what it was yesterday. Pigweed is also on the low side. So we still have a few clouds hanging around here right now. And as you can see, more clouds off to the west. This is a visible satellite image. And see that little bit of circulation right down there. That's where the center of the latest batch of rain is right now. We'll still keep some of these clouds off to the west throughout the rest of the morning. So here's what's going on right now. There was a lot of rain, obviously, earlier in Uvalde, and now it has, we got another batch of rain, which is sliding on in here. And this is, I hate to say it, not necessarily a good thing, because some of the radar estimates in and around Uvalde were about 3 inches of rain from overnight, and then in northeastern Uvalde County, anywhere from 4 to 5 inches worth of rain. So more of this rain is moving on in here, and then further on down to the southwest, it's been the separate systems or batches of rain have sort of died off. So the first one died off. This next one has been weakening, but this next one, it looks like the energy sort of transferred over there. This is still working its way up to the north, and as you can see, there's a lot of lightning strikes in there as well, dumping some decent rain, but there are also some indications it doesn't look like there's as much red in there, so that looks like it is also starting to sort of ease up a little bit. But of course, any rain is fantastic. Now, we are going to have more clouds hanging around here this morning, especially off to the west. Then we'll see more sunshine later on today. We're going to make it up into the low to mid 90s already by early afternoon. The normal high temperature is 94 degrees, so basically at 1 o'clock, we're going to be at our normal high, and then we top off later on today at 100, and 1 or 2 of those clouds out there. As far as any more rain today, there could be 1 or 2 showers trying to pop up, but I kind of doubt it. Not really putting much money on that one. 103 for a heat index later on. 104 Carrizo Springs, 108 in Cotulla. So yes, we are going to have some of that humidity still left over, and especially out there toward Uvalde with plenty of humidity with all this moisture from the rain. And that's just really adding sort of insult to injury with these very hot temperatures with all that humidity and putting the heat index up there. So it's almost intolerable to be outside. Here's the latest computer model. This one does have, again, 1 or 2 of those showers. That off there to the west still kind of lingering around here. And this tries to keep 1 or 2 of them scared up even into the early afternoon hours, which, okay, if there's 1 or 2 that still hang around here, that's going to be fantastic, but otherwise kind of doubt it as far as any more rain. Few leftovers obviously still this morning off there to the west. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies, and then 100 for high temperature today. This will be day number 23, third day so far this month, and every day so far, or upcoming in the month of July, is going to be at triple digits. 4th of July tomorrow, of course. And yeah, we're going to be staying in the low hundreds. There's just nothing as far as any relief in sight throughout the, it's just.
It was just like a moment of like self-reflection where you just look and you're like, there's just nothing. I got nothing but heat.
In theater, you call it a pregnant pause. 7-day 100s.
It's very
Mike.
dramatic.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Thank you, Mike. Just about 8:52, 82 degrees out.
All right, stay cool out there. We'll be right back.
Still got some showers and thunderstorms out to the west and to the southwest, getting more rain around Uvalde, and then heading down to the cluster of cells right there around Eagle Pass. So that's going to be sticking around throughout the next hour, couple of hours. 83 now here in town. Obviously, we do have some of those clouds out there. Slightly lower temperatures off to the west just because of some extra clouds left over today, but still going for triple digits here in town, as well as the rest of the week. Have a wonderful 4th of July, everybody.
What is your favorite hot dog topping? We said ours yesterday.
Just one, mustard.
Just mustard?
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, I'll do everything, but if it's going to be
shouts
simple,
to the seersucker. We'll see you back here tomorrow, starting at 4:30 a.m.